In today's world, we all talk about leadership. Who is a good leader? Who is perceived as a leader? Anyone? Yeah, traditionally it's been more about, oh, I manage 1,000 people, 700 people. So I'm the senior most leader, right? And I manage this function globally. So it has been more about the number of people that you manage traditionally. But in today's world, that's changed completely. It's no more a top-down approach. It's all a bottom-up approach. I'll come to it why I feel very strongly about it, and I'm not hyping it. It is the truth. I'll come to it very shortly. But now, with the advent of AI, we have moved to spec-driven development. So what does that mean? So today, I use AI tools like Devin, Copilot, Claude, and what do I do with it? In software field is the only field where the word legacy has a negative connotation. Typically, legacy means something like a diamond, ruby, that's something very invaluable, right? The only place where legacy, the word legacy has a negative connotation is software field. Legacy code means code that is out there for many decades that nobody wants to touch. Yeah? So legacy code is something that there are still teams, companies that have code running in COBOL, Pascal, all these technologies. No one wants to touch. Because if you touch it, it's going to break. But with AI, that's drastically changed. All you have to do is just tell Devin, give that source code, and then actually just give access to that repository, and then it can convert to a Python code in like minutes, literally. And I stand as a testament to it because I use it day in, day out in my job. So what we are going to is spec-driven development, where instead of actually like coming up with requirements gathering and all those things, what we are doing is ask Devin or Copilot to actually like give us the code, convert the code, or document the code what is existing today. So earlier we used to hire like document writers, and you need to have domain experts who would actually like go and document these, and then it will take weeks and months and get a sign off. Today, the AI tools can actually do that for you literally in minutes. And then once you have the spec, you can validate with your users and they can refine the spec. And again, you can actually like use it to generate the code. And you can again use AI to generate the test. So complete life cycle of software has changed drastically. And who is well versed with this? Yes. Is it the 40-plus-year-old people, 50-plus-year-old people, or 30-plus-year or 20-plus-year, or teenagers? As you age, the ability to learn and ability to keep pace with technology reduces actually. So the people who are teenagers and 20-plus people, the freshers from college, those are the people who are actually leaders in the AI world. It is no more a top-down approach. It is a bottom-up approach. Because you guys are the ones who knows the technologies and tools more than the people who have been spending their time for 2 decades and 3 decades plus. The way you treat AI is, I like the way Dr. Chitra ma'am mentioned today, you treat AI as a co-worker, as a friend. So whenever a person graduates from college or doing his or her internship in college, as a manager or as a lead or as a senior member, if you invest in them, you get maximum ROI. So if you spend time with them, you get a lot of leverage. So that is how you treat AI. Like if you spend time training it, retraining it, retune, refine it, you will get 10x productivity. And things that were thought of as taboo, that were thought of as things like where you couldn't touch these, we are actually transforming in minutes. And the people who are doing all these are really the Gen Z folks, and I'm sure Gen Alpha folks are also going to be like dabbling it in full detail and going to make the difference. And that's why I think leadership is going to be more of a bottom-up thing, no more a top-down thing. The management is not going to set goals and priorities. They can, but they will not be able to execute. You guys are going to be defining that and going to be executing and defining the priorities for the firms or company. And there is a saying of Kalidasa. The rough translation in English is that whatever the boomers, right? Like typically they say, oh, like in my time it used to be this. Oh, you guys are actually like all spoiled people. You guys don't actually care, you don't have actually like respect for the values and culture and stuff like that. And then this happens with every generation. Trust me, boomers used to tell millennials. Millennials used to tell this to Gen Alpha. Sorry, Gen Z. Gen Z is telling Gen Alpha this. But there's a saying of Kalidasa, which actually roughly translates as everything that is old is not great. Everything that is new should not be dismissed. The wise people will always ascertain what is good and what is not so good. So this is something that was mentioned by Kalidasa many thousands of years back. And if you have to just, the cliche that goes is change is the only constant thing, right? Matram ondre nilayanadu. Matram ondre maradadu. So all of us have to adapt to all these technologies, and the more you embrace it, the more you dabble in it, the great future you're going to be. And I have no doubts that you guys are going to be the leaders very shortly. You don't even have to wait till 10 years, 5 years down the line. You are going to define the whole paradigm shift is completely dependent on you guys actually. And there is a famous saying from one of the thinkers saying that if you put 10,000 hours, you will be a master in any field. Have you heard that? If you put 10,000 hours, you will be a master in any field. I have a problem with that statement because of two reasons. So first of all, in the AI world, if you are putting again 10,000 hours, it means that you are inefficient. You cannot afford to put those many hours. You have to get that solved in 100x more efficient way. So you have to get that done in 100 hours, not the 10,000 hours, right? So that's the first thing. And of course, when he made this statement, AI was not there. The second thing is, unless you have a strategy in place, you put even 1,000,000 hours, it's not going to help you. And if I were to take a comparison with art, if I were to practice music, actually it becomes worse if you put more hours in the wrong direction. If you just keep practicing singing and say that actually you don't have any strategy or you don't have any teacher or coach to correct you, you're going to keep practicing in the wrong direction and it will become your muscle memory. So putting these 10,000 hours doesn't actually work. You need three things to be effective leader. First, strategy. Second, you need a proper coach or a teacher or a guru, whatever you call it. Number three, you need self-contemplation, critical thinking. Without these three things, you cannot be effective leader even if you're the most talented person. Third thing is self-contemplation, critical thinking. You just can't take advice. So many people will give you advice. In this world, one thing that everyone loves is giving free advice, right? And so you need self-contemplation, critical thinking, what works for you, what will not work for you. The culture of your team is very important. So without these three things, any number of hours that you put is going to be a waste of time. So that's why I'm not a big fan of the 10,000 hours. You need to be really street smart, have a strategy in place, work with a coach or a guru or a teacher, and then self-analyze. Critical thinking is so important. That is why we see the success that we have. And guess what? If we continue in the same path, we are not going to be successful. Again, we have to retune, retrain, just like your models have to be trained, retrained. You have to constantly keep training and retuning it. So important about this aspect. The why I'm stressing on this thing is because you will get a lot of advice and a lot of inputs, but you will get things in different directions. Be very critical about yourself and see how you can be successful as a leader. You need these three aspects of it. So this covers kind of my first part, which is more the finance engineering stuff, which is what I do at Goldman Sachs as a senior vice president. The second part of it, which is more, is closer to my heart, which is the music part. So I'm a Carnatic musician. I also run a music school. I have a school where I teach about 400 students. And the best part about it is I teach them on a weekly basis, but I meet them only once a year physically. That's when they perform for our annual function. That is the power of technology, right? So all my students are all over the world. They come together once a year to perform, and that's when I get to see them. But they are very highly effective performers. And the reason is because I think I have also tried to change the approach of teaching in music. You know, like the Carnatic music traditional way of teaching is Sarigama Padani, the 7 notes. And I have very high reverence towards our yesteryear stalwarts, legends, saints. But I'm sure even if they were there today, they would have adapted to the constant demands of today's people, right? Today's generation. I have tried to change the way we teach Carnatic music, and time will tell whether I'm successful or not. But instead of teaching them Sarigama Padani, like Sarali Varsai, Janta Varsai, and all those things, all these exercises, and to create interest in the kids, in the children, I have tried to teach them more like rhymes to start with. And the rhymes, I don't want to teach them London Bridge is falling down. So instead of teaching them London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down, London Bridge is falling down, my fair lady. Why should we teach Western culture? We should take pride in our own culture and tradition. Secondly, the message is very negative. It's about falling down. It's not about rising up. The whole of Europe is falling down, and even America is falling down. India is rising up and up. So I wanted to teach them which is inculcating our culture and tradition. Girija Tanaya Gananata, 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 Gauri Tanaya Herambha, Lambodhara. So this, by teaching in this way, you teach our own culture, bhakti, devotion, our Indian culture, which is very rich. It's the richest amongst all the countries. It has a greater history. It has so many aspects intertwined. And so this is how I teach my kids, and they are much more interested in learning music. When I say my kids, that's my students.